You thought the Three Gorges Dam was China's most impressive project, right? Wrong. It actually only ranks 5th. The number 1 project has left the whole world stunned. These 10 super projects we're talking about today are each legendary enough to be considered a marvel. Each one is telling the world that Chinese engineering isn't just impressive, it's ridiculously powerful. From sending the wind of Qinghai into the air conditioners of Guangzhou with the ultra-high voltage power grid that even Russia envies, to the west-east gas pipeline that lights up more than half of China with blue flames, and the Kong-Zhuhai-Macao bridge, which dances like a ballerina on the seabed, unshaken even by typhoons. Chinese engineering is an existence that has personally erased the word impossible. In this episode, we'll explore China's 10 most incredible super projects, each one more ridiculously powerful than the last. We look forward to your subscription and likes. Number 10. The ultra-high voltage power grid. Do you know which project can provide a year's worth of worry-free electricity for half of China's population? It's not the Three Gorges. It's today's number 10, the ultra-high voltage power grid. From the windmill fields of the inner Mongolian grasslands to the skyscrapers of Shanghai's Pudong, a 30,000-kilometer-long celestial network of steel stretches across the sky. With a voltage of up to 1,000 kilovolts, that's more than 4,000 times that of ordinary power lines. What does that mean? If you compare a regular power line to a household water pipe, then the UHV grid is like a 10-meter diameter channel of the Yangtze River. It can transmit wind power from Qinghai and hydropower from Sichuan to Guangzhou, 2,000 kilometers away, with less than 8% loss. That's 25% less power loss than traditional grids. The 100 billion yuan saved on electricity bills each year is enough to give every person in the country 20 kilowatt hours of electricity. What's even more impressive is its environmental impact. It saves 80 million tons of coal from being burned, which is equivalent to reducing carbon emissions by 120 million tons or planting 100 million trees. That's a forest the size of 10 Beijing Olympic forest parks, or having all 1.4 billion people in China drive for 3 fewer months. Last winter, the 2 consecutive weeks of clear weather in Beijing were supported by clean electricity transmitted from Shaanxi via the UHV grid, allowing the Beijing-Tianjin region to enjoy 20 extra days of blue skies. Economically, it's an invisible engine. The west-to-east power transmission corridor drives the GDP growth of the Yangtze River Delta by 1.3 trillion yuan annually, equivalent to the cost of 40 birds' nest stadiums. For every 10 products manufactured in the electronics factories of Suzhou or the steel bases of Foshan, 7 are powered by UHV transmission. Foreign experts once asserted that a power grid spanning such vast distances was impossible. But Chinese engineers, using temperature control cables and smart inspections, have enabled the grid to operate stably even in Mo, at minus 40 degrees Celsius. Now, even Russia is coming to buy this technology. Some call it China's 6th mode of transportation, but what makes it more incredible than high-speed rail is that it never has traffic jams. Regardless of typhoons or blizzards, electricity is delivered to millions of homes on time, just like blood. Right now, the lights, refrigerator, and phone charger in your home might just be connected to this energy artery that spans half of China. This is China's ultra-high voltage grid, a super grid woven with steel and wisdom, allowing 1.4 billion people to see the gentle power of a great nation's engineering in the bright lights. Number 9. The West-East Gas Pipeline. When you turn on your gas stove to boil an egg in the morning, that blue flame may have traveled 2,500 kilometers. Starting from the oil fields of the Darim Basin in Xinjiang, it travels underground through 11 provinces and cities before reaching your kitchen. This project, known as the Underground Energy Artery, is the 9th of China's top 10 super projects. Imagine a 25,000-kilometer-long steel pipeline. It's longer than half the Earth's circumference, enough to wrap halfway around the globe. Every year, 120 billion cubic meters of natural gas flow through it, equivalent to providing 10 cubic meters of gas per day to 500 million people, enough to boil 20 kettles of water and cook 3 dishes. What's more, it has transformed the energy bonus of the West into the economic engine of the East. The first line of the project alone can replace 200 million tons of standard coal, reducing carbon dioxide emissions by 400 million tons. This is like removing the gray haze mass from 50 northern cities, giving the Beijing-Tianjin region 20 more blue sky days in winter. The economic calculation is even more astounding. It boosts the GDP by over 1 trillion yuan annually, creating 1 million jobs. Steel mills along the route produced 30 million tons of steel pipes for it, enough to build 150 birds' nest stadiums. Construction crews laid pipes in the 60-degree Celsius heat of the Taklamakan Desert and had to cross more than 100 rivers, including the Yellow River and the Yangtze River. Foreign experts once said that laying high-pressure pipelines across fault lines was a fantasy. But Chinese engineers used independently developed corrosion-resistant steel pipes and smart monitoring technology to ensure the pipeline has operated stably underground for 20 years. Even American liquefied natural gas projects have come to learn from it. Now, the hot water for your shower and the heating in winter are all powered by this underground dragon. The natural gas it transports daily could fill 4,000 standard swimming pools, yet it maintains a 99.99% safety operation rate. The most touching part is when natural gas from Xinjiang lights up a stove in Shanghai. The sheep herds of Western pastoralists and the factory lights of the East are closely connected through this pipeline. This isn't a cold steel project. It's a Chinese energy bond flowing deep within the earth, telling the story of the symbiotic miracle between the East and West in every ignition, in every wisp of cooking smoke. Number 8. China's fast, the Sky Eye. Hidden in the folds of Guizhou's Great Mountains is a super ear listening to the universe. Its 500-meter diameter silver reflecting surface is nestled in a karst depression, covering an area equivalent to 30 football fields. When it moves, it can capture the whispers of stars 13 billion light-years away. This is the 8th of China's top 10 super projects. Imagine this scene. 4,450 reflective panels pieced together like scales, forming a 500-meter diameter space microphone. As of 2024, it has discovered over 740 pulsars, accounting for more than half of the total discovered worldwide during the same period. That's like finding a cosmic lighthouse every 3 days. What's even more shocking is that this 1.1 billion yuan national treasure has not only propelled Chinese astronomical research to the forefront of the world, but has also revitalized the mountainous region of Guizhou. In 2023, Pingtang County earned 700 million yuan from tourism related to the Sky Eye, providing 30,000 people with astronomy-related jobs. Even local farmhouses have started selling pulsar fried rice. Technologically, it's a game-changer. The main reflector's cable net system can withstand the weight of 5,000 elephants. The feed cabin positions itself with precision like a butterfly, 300 meters in the air. All core technologies were independently developed. Foreign experts once claimed that large aperture telescopes could not be actively deformed. But Chinese engineers used 2,200 steel cables to allow the reflective surface to transform into a parabola at any time, with an accuracy of 0.1 millimeters. That's like being able to accurately detect a single strand of hair placed on a football field. Now, when you look up at the stars, the sky, I might be capturing the heartbeat of a distant neutron star. It's not just a cold piece of scientific equipment. It's a cosmic communicator set among the mountains. When China's Sky Eye hears radio waves from 13 billion light-years away, it's the first time humanity has touched the childhood of the universe with its own technology. This giant pot isn't cooking rice. It's cooking up the romantic imagination of the Chinese people for the starry sky, looking out from the gullies of Guizhou towards the sea of stars. Number 7. Beijing Daxing International Airport. When a plane lands in southern Beijing, a golden phoenix-shaped building is spreading its wings. The 1.4 million square meter terminal is larger than 200 football fields, yet it allows passengers to walk from the entrance to their gate in a maximum of 8 minutes. Luggage can get from the plane to the carousel in just 13 minutes. This super project, named one of the 7 wonders of the New World by foreign media, is the 7th of China's top 10 super projects. Imagine building the world's largest single terminal building in just 5 years. That's equivalent to 10,000 workers on site simultaneously every day, yet it was delivered with 0 delays. The most incredible part is its efficiency-focused design. The furthest walking distance from the central hub of the main building to any gate is only 600 meters. Using a radial layout with moving walkways, it minimizes walking for passengers. The baggage system moves as if on fire wheels. Its 13-minute transfer speed is twice as fast as Pudong airports. Even foreign counterparts have come to study China's speed. What's even more impressive is its economic magic. Within the 400-square-kilometer aerotropolis, industries like aviation logistics and bonded warehousing are clustered together. The projected annual output value is 300 billion yuan, which is equivalent to creating 800 million yuan of wealth every day. 500,000 people directly rely on the airport for their livelihoods. Even surrounding hotels and restaurants have boomed. In 2024, bookings for guest houses around the airport have surged 10 times compared to before it opened. Vegetable farmers in Langfang, Hebei, deliver 20 tons of vegetables to the airport every day. In terms of transportation, it's an all-around champion. The Beijing-Xiong'an Intercity Railway runs directly into the terminal, making it just a 20-minute trip from Beijing West Railway Station. In the future, once connected to the Xiong'an New Area, the Beijing-Tianjin region will form a 1-hour air circle. As the world's first all-electric transport airport, its annual carbon reduction is equivalent to planting 1 million trees. Even the shuttle buses are BYD electric vehicles. Now, when you're shopping at the duty-free stores in Daxing Airport, every floor tile beneath your feet might hide some high-tech secret. The terminal roof is made of 12,800 pieces of glass, forming a phoenix whose feathers can automatically adjust the light. The intelligent sorting system for the baggage carousel is 10 times faster than manual labor. This airport isn't a cold building. It's a living, breathing national living room. As the Golden Phoenix spreads its wings, China is showcasing the composure and ambition of a major global hub at the speed of the world's fastest airport. Number 6, Baihetan Hydropower Station. When you turn on your lamp, the electricity might be coming from a 16 million kilowatt superpower bank. On the Jinsha River, at the border of Sichuan and Yunnan, 16 giant generator units are turning river water into electrical energy. A single rotation of one unit generates enough electricity to run a refrigerator for a day. This hydropower station, with the world's largest single unit capacity, is the 6th of China's top 10 super projects. Baihetan Hydropower Station. In this steel labyrinth, located 200 meters underground, within a cavernous powerhouse the size of 30 football fields, 16 generator units lie in wait like giant dragons. A single unit weighs 8,000 tons, yet can be adjusted with a precision of 0.1 millimeters. The most incredible part is that during construction, engineers had to cross 12 geological fault lines and avoid more than 300 karst caves. Foreign geologists once said that building a power station here was like building a skyscraper on tofu. But the Chinese team used 3D geological modeling and intelligent grouting technology to make the powerhouse as stable as Mount Tai. Its green energy is beyond imagination. It generates an average of 48 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity annually, enough for 40 million households for a year. This is equivalent to burning 15 million fewer tons of coal and reducing carbon emissions by 40 million tons annually, like planting 200 million trees in the upper reaches of the Yangtze River. What's even more impressive is the intelligent dispatch system. Using satellite remote sensing and big data, it can adjust power generation in real time based on rainfall, saving 20% more water than traditional power stations. Even the UN's hydropower and environmental organizations have come to learn from it. The economic benefits are equally astonishing. The power station has driven the formation of a surrounding hydropower industry cluster, with the manufacturing of electromechanical equipment alone spawning 500 companies. A steel plant in Jiaodong, Yunnan, produced 800,000 tons of special steel for it. The most touching part is in the details. To protect rare fish species, engineers build a special fish elevator to allow native species to travel upstream. An ecological forest of 100,000 mu, approximates 6,667 hectares, was also cultivated in the reservoir area, preserving the green mountains and lucid waters while creating a vast lake in the high gorges. Now, When you're using your air conditioner or scrolling on your phone, take a moment to listen to the sound of the current. That's the water of the Qinghai River, flowing through the wisdom of Chinese engineers, transformed into the warmth of life. It has tamed the river with steel and technology, writing a new chapter for Chinese hydropower in the high mountains and deep gorges, letting the story of clean energy flow into the lights of thousands of homes. Number 5. The Three Gorges Dam. In the precipitous gorges of the Yangtze River, a giant steel and concrete dam spans the river. With an installed capacity of 22.5 million kilowatts, it's equivalent to 22 Baihetan hydropower stations. It generates 100 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity annually, enough for 100 million people for an entire year. This, the world's largest hydropower project, is the fifth of China's top 10 super projects, the Three Gorges Dam. Imagine this shocking scene. The 175-meter high dam lies like a giant dragon across the river. Its reservoir has a capacity equivalent to 300 Westlakes. When the flood season arrives, it can hold back 22.1 billion cubic meters of floodwater, protecting the safety of 15 million people downstream. This is like putting a protective safety helmet on the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze. During the once-in-a-century flood of 2020, the Three Gorges Dam reduced the flood peak by 40%, allowing cities like Wuhan and Nanjing to remain safe, prompting sighs of admiration from foreign media. China has rewritten the history of flood control with a single dam. Besides power generation, it's an all-around player. The navigation locks allow 10,000-ton cargo ships to reach Chongqing directly, shortening the voyage by 800 kilometers. The reservoir area has also become a freshwater treasure trove, replenishing the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze with 20 billion cubic meters of water annually. The most impressive part is its environmental protection. It reduces carbon emissions by 30 million tons each year, equivalent to a forest covering 20 times the area of Hainan Island. Although there was controversy over resettlement, today the 1.3 million resettled people in the reservoir area are living and working peacefully in new cities. The navel orange orchards in Guangzhou, Chongqing, have even become a popular spot for social media check-ins. Technologically, it has created countless miracles. All 34 of its 700,000 kilowatt generator units were independently developed. The rotors weigh 1,900 tons each, yet operate with precision. The dam was built with 27 million cubic meters of concrete, enough to build a road from Beijing to Guangzhou. Foreign experts once said it was impossible to build a dam in such complex geological conditions. But Chinese engineers used deep grout curtains for foundation reinforcement and smart monitoring technology, making the dam as stable as Mount Tai even in a strong seismic zone. The Three Gorges is not a cold structure. It is a steel giant guarding the Yangtze River. With half a century of planning and 17 years of construction, it has written the pinnacle of Chinese water conservancy amidst the mountains and rivers, letting the waters of the Yangtze nourish the land and light up the future. Number 4. The Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal. Did you know? That 1,000-year-old canal running through China from north to south has now become a destiny-defying super project. The 1,794-kilometer-long Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal has now transformed into a major transportation artery, connecting 8 major river systems and 5 provinces and municipalities. It is a true liquid highway connecting the economic lifeblood of the north and south. This, the world's longest artificial river, is hailed as a living World Heritage Site. For 2,000 years, it has been continuously flowing and continuously maintained. Ancient bridges and towns are strung along its banks like pearls. The most amazing part is its water network magic. During the dry season, it connects to the South to North Water Diversion Project to send water to North China. For every 10 cups of water a Beijing resident drinks, 3 come from the canal's diversion. During the flood season, it can shave off 40% of the flood peak in the lower Yangtze River, protecting the safety of thousands of towns in Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai. During the heavy rainstorms in the Yangtze River Delta in 2021, the canal's hub system reduced urban waterlogging in Shanghai and Suzhou by 60%. For shipping, it's a money-saving marvel. A 10,000-ton cargo ship can travel directly from Hangzhou to Beijing, with freight costs 70% lower than by road. That's equivalent to saving 200 yuan for every ton of goods transported. Last year, a coal ship from Shandong traveled to Hangzhou via the canal, saving 3 days compared to the sea route. The ship owner was thrilled. Now, the canal's annual freight volume exceeds 500 million tons, equivalent to 1,300 freight trains running on the river every day. Even inland navigation experts from Germany have come to study the wisdom of China's canal. But the hidden masterstroke is its ecological restoration. Engineers have built 2 million mu, approximate 133,333 hectares, of wetlands along the canal, planting them full of reeds and water lilies. Now, the water quality in the Jiangsu section is good enough to drink directly, and flocks of swans have returned. Remember the images from your childhood textbooks of 1,000 sails passing through the Grand Canal? Now, not only do cargo ships shuttle back and forth, but tour boats also carry visitors to see the clear water and green banks. In 2023, tourism revenue from the canal exceeded 30 billion yuan, and bookings for goose houses in the ancient towns along its banks surged by 8 times. When you stroll along the canal, the water flowing beneath your feet might be turning a turbine to generate electricity, or it might be on its way to Beijing through the south to north water diversion project. This 1,000-year-old canal is not a historical relic. It is a living super project. It has witnessed China's history with its 2,500 years of flow, and it is rewriting China's present with modern technology, allowing an ancient water system to be reborn in a new era. This is the romance of Chinese engineering, respecting history while creating the future. Number 3. The Kong-Zhuhai-Macao Bridge. When a plane flies over the Ling-Dingyang, a steel dragon breathes beneath the sea. The 55-kilometer-long Kong-Zhuhai-Macao Bridge lies like a silver chain cast upon the sea, a miracle built with 420,000 tons of steel, enough to build 60 Eiffel Towers. The amount of concrete used could pave a highway from Guangzhou to Beijing. This project, listed by The Guardian as one of the 7 wonders of the modern world, is the third of China's top 10 super projects. 33 immersed tube sections were precisely connected on the seabed with an error margin of no more than 3 centimeters. This is like stacking coins one on top of another from a height of 30 stories. The 6.7-kilometer undersea tunnel is longer than 6 football fields, yet it can withstand a Category 16 typhoon and an 8-magnitude earthquake. It has a design life of 120 years, outliving even your great-grandfather. Foreign experts once declared that connecting immersed tubes in the deep sea was an impossible mission. But Chinese engineers, using composite foundations and intelligent hydraulic technology, made the 30,000-ton immersed tubes dance ballet on the seabed. Even foreign companies have come seeking to purchase this China solution. The most incredible part is its economic impact. Before, it took 3 hours to get from Hong Kong to Zhuhai. Now, it's a 30-minute direct trip, instantly creating a half-hour living circle in the Greater Bay Area. In the 5 years since it opened, over 150 million people have crossed it, equivalent to the entire population of the UK moving once. The economic growth is even more staggering. It is expected to drive regional GDP growth by 1.2 trillion yuan. Hong Kong's financial capital, Zhuhai's manufacturing, and Macau's tourism are deeply integrated through this bridge. Even seafood stalls in Zhuhai have seen a 30% increase in earnings due to tourists from Hong Kong and Macau. Chinese wisdom is hidden in the details. To protect the Chinese white dolphins, the construction plan was specially adjusted, resulting in zero harm to the dolphins during the 5-year construction period. The bridge's lighting automatically adjusts its brightness at night according to sunrise and sunset, and this Milky Way has become a global hotspot for social media. Now, as you drive over its S-shaped curved deck, every kilometer is packed with high-tech features. The drainage system can handle a once-in-a-century rainstorm, and the anti-collision barriers can withstand a 300,000-ton impact. Even the asphalt is a special salt and alkali-resistant formula. This bridge is not cold steel. It is a flowing national business card. When cars with Hong Kong and Macau license plates travel across it, It not only connects the three places, but also shows the world that Chinese infrastructure can turn the word impossible into the long blast of a horn at its opening. Fully independent from design to construction, behind its 7 world records is a declaration of strength written by Chinese engineers in the deep sea. This is the China span of the new era. Number 2. The south to north water diversion. Can you imagine? China has moved the equivalent of 16 Thai lakes worth of water from south to the north. When a Beijing resident turns on the tap, 70% of that water has traveled 1,400 kilometers, all the way from the Danjianka Reservoir in Hubei. This project, which has redrawn China's water resource map, is the world's largest water diversion project. A 3,000-kilometer-long super aqueduct with its eastern route following the Grand Canal and its central route starting from the Danjianka Reservoir quenches the thirst of 150 million people in the north with a daily diversion volume equivalent to 13 million bathtubs. The most incredible part is the central route's Yellow River crossing project. Engineers made the Yellow River do a piggyback, crossing underneath it with an 8-meter diameter tunnel, like an underground water corridor wide enough for trucks to drive side by side. Foreign experts exclaimed that this was rewriting geography textbooks. In the 11 years since the diversion began, what has the cumulative 70 billion cubic meters of water accomplished? It has allowed Beijing to accommodate an additional 5 million people, reduced the cost of industrial water in Tianjin by 40%, and begun to replenish the overexploited groundwater of the North China Plain. I remember the day the water arrived in 2014. Elderly residents in Beijing's Hutongs lined up to taste it, saying, "I never thought in my lifetime that water from the Yangtze River could flow into our courtyard." Now, the reed marshes of Bayangdian are green again. Fish have returned to the Chaobai River, and even the beds of dried-up rivers are once again singing the song of water. Technologically, it's full of world firsts. The Danjianka Reservoir was expanded into a northern water tower the size of 2,000 West Lakes. The intelligent monitoring system for the Yellow River crossing tunnel is more accurate than a hospital CT scan, and 181 control projects ensure not a single drop is wasted. National Geographic once marveled that for the first time, humanity had used engineering to make water flow uphill, and China had turned the impossible into the everyday reality of a faucet. Next time you wash your hands, take a look at the water. This drop from the south has passed through pumping stations, tunnels, and aqueducts, crossing thousands of mountains and rivers to reach you. The south-to-north water diversion is not a cold pipeline. It is a flowing national sentiment. It lets the moisture of the south nourish the arid north. In every drop of tap water lies the gentle power of Chinese engineering to change the world. Power is not about conquering nature, but about using wisdom to let tens of millions share a single water source. Number 1. The Qinghai-Tibet Railway. At the 5,072-meter-high Tangula Pass, a steel dragon is crossing the 1,000-year-old permafrost. 1,956 kilometers of tracks spread out like a silver chain, with 60% of the route above 4,000 meters. Here, the oxygen level is less than half of that at sea level, so low that a lighter won't even ignite. Yet, this is where the world's highest railway runs. This miracle, known as the Sky Road, is the number 1 of China's top 10 super projects. Building a railway in a life-forbidden zone, workers had to carry oxygen tanks. The temperature difference between day and night can reach 40 degrees Celsius, and a shovel would shatter upon hitting the frozen ground. But Chinese engineers used a triple technique of cooling, ventilation, and insulation to keep the 550 kilometers of permafrost roadbed from collapsing for over a decade. It's like building a house on ice cream and making it as stable as a mountain. What's more, to avoid disturbing the Tibetan antelopes, 33 animal overpasses were built along the railway. Every year, tens of thousands of Tibetan antelopes cross gracefully. CCTV once captured footage of a young antelope frolicking on one of the bridges, and netizens exclaimed, "This is the gentle side of Chinese engineering." In the 18 years since it opened, it has completely rewritten Tibet's coordinates in time and space. Previously, it took 4 days and 5 nights to get from Beijing to Lhasa by road. Now, it's a 41-hour direct trip. 70 million passengers have taken the train to see the starry sky over Namso Lake. 500 million tons of goods have entered Tibet by rail. In Lesa's supermarkets, you can buy beer from Qingdao and bananas from Hainan, and prices have dropped by 30%. Tibet's GDP grew from 34.2 billion yuan in 2006 to 260 billion yuan in 2024, a sevenfold increase in 18 years. Tibetan fragrant pigs from Nyingki and caterpillar fungus from Nagku are transported across the country by rail. The herders say, "The train has come to our doorstep, and so have the good days." Technologically, it has created countless world firsts. The world's first thermosiphon cooling system keeps the permafrost cool, like giving an injection. The fully enclosed, oxygen-supplied cabins prevent passengers from feeling dizzy even at an altitude of 5,000 meters. Even the track screws are specially made to withstand strong UV radiation and large temperature differences. Foreign experts once asserted that a railway on permafrost could not operate stably. But the Qinghai-Tibet Railway, with its 18-year record of zero major accidents, has forced a rewriting of permafrost engineering textbooks worldwide. When the train passes through Hozil and you see the Tibetan antelopes running parallel to the tracks outside your window, you'll understand that this railway is not cold steel. It is a national declaration built on the snowy peaks. It has connected the interior with the frontier using steel and wisdom, making the plateau no longer distant and turning dreams into reality. Of these 10 most powerful projects in China, which one do you find the most impressive? Let me know in the comments. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Global Superlatives updates daily. See you tomorrow.